Excited to see that tan, huh, Josh? I'm a lot more tan than I usually am. Um, a nickname that my wife has for me is Red Man because I usually skip the tan and go straight to burn. So we always joke that I'm Red Man. um, what's up, everybody? Thank you for coming in. As you come in, make sure you hit the like button, and it helps get the algorithm for YouTube going and all of that. So, um, man, we have got a ton of stuff to talk about here. It's been a pretty freaking busy uh, week or two. I went ahead and pinned the link in the top of the comments. So if anybody wants to jump in and say their piece, feel more than welcome to do that. You don't have to, of course, but go for it if you want. Shout out to everybody who comes in here, all the regulars. You guys are the real heroes. And I saw this first comment here and it made me giggle. Miami Dolphins finally gonna do it right? Heck no. Okay. We wanted change, right? I mean, that's what we wanted. I mean, that's what I wanted. I wanted change. And we're seeing change in the logical place first, right? At the top. At the top. Change at the top. The front office is being completely revamped and changed. You could say trimming the fat would be a good description of what's going on here, and we'll get into all that here shortly. But I think that you got to start at the top, and since what has been being done for 20 years hasn't been working, we're seeing a different approach, and I think it's a good thing. So I don't know if anything's gonna change. I would think that this is lending itself to a better situation for change. I would say that for sure. But we'll get into it all. Josh, thanks for coming in. Jorge, thank you. 305 Gridiron. I'm assuming that that's Anthony. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. Thanks for everybody for being here. Those of you that haven't commented, thank you as well. Make sure if you're new, subscribe, please. Go for it. It doesn't hurt. It's free. It helps me. Do it. I've been away. I was in Mexico for a week and it was fantastic. I went there with my wife. I'm going to be going back in a month and a week. So 5 more weeks, I'll be right back in Mexico again. I didn't get enough of it. And right now we have a blizzard outside here in North Pole. So not ideal weather. So I'm ready to go back to Mexico already. Yeah, I am not. Turns out the more I think about it too, the more I'm not against it either. I won't complain about it if that ends up being the selection. Obviously, I'd like personally somebody with a lot more coaching experience, but sometimes the right situation comes along, the right name, and you got to take your shot. So we'll get into all the coaches and stuff that we've interviewed. I'm not going to talk too much about the ones that obviously aren't going to happen. But we'll get into all of that. First, I want to talk about something kind of cool, kind of neat. Dude, it's not just Josh. I'm buying in too. I'm the more and more I think about it and run it through my head, the more I just kind of like it. And I'm trying to tell myself that you're just saying that because of the name, and you're just saying that because of the name. But man, every time I run it through my head, I find a way to justify it. So I don't know. It's difficult for sure, and I don't envy the job that Stephen Ross and I just don't envy the job that it's taking to find a new head coach. It's got to be exhausting, especially with the amount of people that they're going through. But that's a good thing from a Dolphins fan perspective. From our perspective, we want them to put the effort in and put the work in, right? Yeah, and that me too. And it's funny because everybody's got these opinions on these coaches, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying things like, "Let's get John Gruden. Let's go tell who else? man, I'm drawing a blank here, but let's go get them another coach who hasn't had a winning football season in 20 years. No, that's the wrong thing to do. We need something different. So John Eric Sullivan's he's going through everything right now. They're going through interviews. They can't do in-person interviews until next Monday, and only if the team is out of the playoffs or not in the playoffs, obviously. So all they can do right now, this last week, is online interviews. So they've done a bunch of those, and we'll go over all of that here. It's been a long thing. Oh, I'll be here. I'll be here, Josh. No worries. I'm not sure exactly how long the stream's going to be. I'm just going to kind of go until I feel like we've covered everything, but it'll definitely be a while. Got a lot to talk about. But Foist. When I was in Mexico, I ran into somebody, a Dolphins player, an ex-Dolphins player, from a while back, and it was awesome getting to sit there and talk to him and spend the evening talking with this guy. Some of you might remember, some of you probably won't. He didn't play hardly any at all. He was a 7th round draft pick in 2009. I was in Cancun this time, Anthony. I was in Cancun, and I'm going to Puerto Vallarta in February. But this guy was drafted by the Dolphins in 2009. He was the number 214 pick out of Weber State. He was a linebacker and special teamer. Played 2 games for Miami, and that's it. And just a few plays. Had 1 tackle. So didn't play much for the Dolphins, but was a Dolphins player. So naturally, I was a little starstruck. And the reason I ran into him was because my wife, we went on this trip to Mexico. This last trip was because of the place who she works for. And she earned a trip through her company by the hard work that she's done. And because of that, one of the people that she works with is the wife of J.D. Folsom. And J.D. Folsom is the ex-Dolphins player from 2009. So I ran into him on the beach, and we sat and talked for a while. It was a fantastic evening. Told me a bunch of stories. Had a great conversation with him. It was fantastic. That's him when he was playing. And I'm going to share one of the stories that he told me. The reason I'm not going to share too much of the stories is because I'm going to try to get him on the channel and have him come and talk a little bit about, what it's like to be in the NFL, to play for the Dolphins and all that stuff, and talk about the team he was playing with. He's got a lot of cool stuff to say. So that's him, and this is us out on the beach. It was a great time. Pretty freaking cool to sit there and get to talk to him and pick his brain about the NFL. Obviously, I only played in college, so to be able to hear his perspective on how things went, being a 7th round draft pick, it was awesome to hear. So hope to get him on the channel soon. Until then, I will tell one of the stories that he said. He was playing for Tony Sperano. That was the team that he was with. He was on initially. He made the practice squad and in the beginning of the season, and during that year, the home game against the Patriots, he was playing. They moved him up to the active roster, and they brought him on the field or onto the sidelines, like everybody else, and he said he's sitting there and he's just like, just in awe, when the game starts, and he's looking around the stadium and stuff. And he said that sometime during the second quarter, he got put in on kickoff return kickoff. So he was one of the gunners on kickoff. So they kicked off, and this is his first play, ever. And he ran down the field, and he said he couldn't remember who it was that he was trying to tackle, but he kind of threw his body sideways to kind of lay a hit on him. And he said the guy just kind of run right around him, and he didn't even barely touch him. And he just landed on the ground. And I feel like he said he felt so horrible, and he's coming off the field, and Sperano walked over to him and looked at him, and he said, "You wanted a chance to play in the NFL, and you just got it. Sit down." And he said that was the last time he played in that game, and he got a couple more plays, made a tackle on defense the next couple games after that, but he said that was pretty much it for him. It was pretty he said he felt pretty horrible after that first experience, that his welcome to the NFL moment. But yeah, pretty cool getting to talk to him. Had a great time. It was JD Folsom. So like I said, he's a more obscure player because he didn't play much, but it was still really cool to get to talk to him. That's the third ex-Miami Dolphin player that I've ran into in my travels. But certainly really cool to get and talk to him. He's very down to earth. He's actually he left the NFL because he wanted to go back to school to become a large game or large animal veterinarian. And he's living in central United States. He has a big ranch, and he's got a beef business. So sells cows for beef, and has a steak company and all kinds of stuff. So pretty cool getting to talk to him. Yeah, you know what? I thought about that with Sullivan, and I was thinking, yeah, this is his first time as a GM, but they kind of do in Green Bay, they kind of do conglomeration style general management, and I don't think it's going to be too much of a jump for him to go into what he's doing now. I know. He still does a big animal, large animal veterinarian, but he runs a beef business. But it's not like a slaughterhouse. It's not one of those things. It's more of we have a cow here that we've been grass feeding, and it's ready to be purchased if anybody wants to buy it. For more like a private business thing, not like a grocery store type beef business. You know what I mean? I guess if that makes sense. But yeah, he's got 4 or 5 kids, and it was really cool. Perk of my wife working for this company and doing so well, earning this trip. I get to meet another one of her company's employees, and her husband happens to be JD Folsom. It was pretty cool. So, but we got to start talking about this stuff, and I guess we might as well just jump in with this front office stuff. Now, I'm trying to think of the best way to start talking about this. We know John Eric Sullivan has been hired, and he's our new general manager. He's in the office now. He's done a couple interviews, which I thought were really interesting, especially hearing him talk. And one of the questions about at the end of his little interview piece, where they asked him, what's your design for this team? What do you want to do to get this team going in the right direction? And he just flat deadpan said, win. That's the goal. We want to win. And it's such a simple answer. I absolutely loved it. I was very excited about it. And I know it's his first time as a general manager, but I don't think he's going to have a hard time making this leap. I don't think this is going to be an issue for him. Coming from more of a conglomerate style of general management that they have in Green Bay, being an assistant GM there, and then coming here where he has people around him as well. Champ Kelly is staying on with the team, and also Brandon Shore handles a lot of the financial stuff. And I like Brandon Shore a lot because he's one of the ones that did not want to give Tua his contract. He did not want to give these big contracts out, re-signing Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle's contract, all these big contracts. He didn't want to do them. He was forced to. So he tried to make them as good as he could. But when you don't have the final say, this is what happens. So Brandon Shore, Champ Kelly, and John Eric Sullivan at the head of this, that's a pretty satisfying group of people to kind of get this cleaned up and to move forward with this team into the future. I'm I'm very happy about it, especially since one of the first things that happened right as Eric Sullivan was hired is they canned Marvin Allen. Now, Marvin Allen was the assistant GM behind Chris Greer, and you cut the head off the snake, you got to cut a little more off. You got to get that assistant GM out of there too. His hands were just as dirty. So I'm very excited about what they're doing in the front office of the Miami Dolphins. You know about the other cuts that they've made in the front office with the scouting department. Some of the players that have, or some of the guys that have been in those scouting positions for 20 or 30 years, 25 years. So having those people gone, I think it lends itself to a little bit of credibility to the fact that they are trimming the fat, they are cleaning things up, and they're doing what they can to turn this around. And how do you turn things around? We talk about it all the time. You change. You make changes. Everybody's been screaming for a year. And this is, I'm going to try to say this without being chiding a little bit, but it's going to be difficult because there are so many people all over the internet claiming to be Dolphins fans that are complaining about these moves, and I don't understand it. We're not talking about players. My goodness, this dog is driving me nuts. We're not talking about players right now. We're talking about just the front office. And everything is changing in the front office. How do you get different results? You make changes. You have to. We're making changes. Marvin Allen fired. Those other two losers that have been in the scouting department let go. Chris Greer fired. John Eric Sullivan hired a younger guy with a vision who wants to do something different, who has a track record of not only making good draft picks, solid draft picks, but also having a very heavy part in running a football team. So I think with the supporting cast of Champ Kelly and Brandon Shore, I like this little setup that we've got in the front office for Miami. I think it's going to bring good things. I can't ask for more. I mean, John Eric Sullivan, according to my little list here, he was my number 2 option. And I'm good with it. I like what I have here. No, he was my number 3. I'm sorry. But I'm not going to complain. Why would I? Hallaby was number 2, and the Chargers GM or assistant GM was number 1 for me. So I'm good with this. It'd be crazy not to be excited, at least, a little bit, and saying, hey, well, at least they're making some changes. There's new faces coming in here. We desperately needed it. We couldn't handle any more of the same. It wasn't working. That's the definition of insanity. So good on Miami for making some changes. Good on Stephen Ross for actually bringing in somebody with a little bit of a vision. We'll see if it pans out. But I like what I've seen so far. I severely love it. I'm very happy right now. We'll see if it continues. Josh.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Living.
Am I tan enough for you?
You look couldn't tell who the football player was in that photo.
JD Folsom.
No, I mean between you and him.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm sure. Right. I am Red Man.
I love it. I love it. Beats being Method Man. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm trying to get into all this stuff. We got so much going on. It's actually been insane. I'm kind of bummed that I missed it all as I was in Mexico, but now I'm trying to catch up.
Yep. Well, this is your show. I'm just here to help.
So tell me, I've already given my kind of opinion on this. Let's talk about the front office. Tell me what you think about these moves in the front office. Marvin Allen fired, Chris Greer fired, John Eric Sullivan comes in, Champ Kelly and Brandon Shore kind of backing him up in this position.
Yeah, I think it's the smart move, right? I mean, anyone that's watched me and Anthony on our pod or listen to you, I mean, we all say the same thing. We need to clean house. We need to rip this thing down to the studs. We need to rebuild the right way with new, fresh minds, with new, fresh perspectives. And you can't do that with too many holdovers, right? That's why Anthony specifically quite often says, it's not going to work if you get a new GM and you keep the coach, or if you get a new coach with the same GM, because they're not connected. Right. And so it's, I think it's the smart move. I'm glad that Ross finally seems to be listening to people and
Yeah.
making the right choices, making the right decisions, making the right changes. And none of these decisions are easy. I mean, these are people's lives. Right?
Right.
None of this is a joke. I mean, we laugh about it and we get excited when somebody leaves, but these are people losing their jobs with kids and wives and so on and so forth. But from our perspective, this is our franchise as fans, and we want it built correctly. And this is the only way to do it, in my opinion. And John Eric Sullivan, man, or as he likes to be called per his interview, Sully. Sully is a hell of a choice for a GM, man.
Yeah, and I think that like I said, everybody knows the Packers do this GM style where they have 3 or 4 people that actually contribute heavily in Green Bay. So I think that this is going to be a situation where he's very prepared for this. I don't think this is going to be like an actual rookie GM. Yeah. I think he's going to be a little ahead of the curve there.
Yep.
So at least I hope.
Look at Anthony's comment. Sully won me over real quick. Son of a bitch dragged me right back in. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I am curious to get your thoughts because I have a very strong opinion about this. So I'll be curious to hear what you have to say. What are your thoughts about all of the, I mean, we have 22 names now for coaches that we're interested in or interviewing or have submitted requests for. Do you like that? Do you wish it was more honed in? Do you like the shotgun approach versus the sniper approach, I guess is the better way of saying it?
I like the spray. I'm not going to say I hate it, anything that has to do with the offseason so far for Miami. I think that because of the situation we're in with the huge amount of dead cap, I think it's going to be record setting unless we manage to do something about Tua's contract. But we're looking at an NFL record of dead cap. So knowing that and just the fact that we don't have a quarterback right now, because I don't think Tua's coming back, and we'll get into all that in a minute. But I think that it's not the most desirable head coaching job, right?
Well, not this year.
Yeah, exactly.
It gets substantially better in 2027. I mean, financially, substantially better.
Yep. And I think that that's the selling point for Miami is, and you can look at it as a positive. You could say, well, Miami's bringing these coaches in, and they're probably telling them something along the lines of, "Don't worry about this year.
Figure it out.
Get your feet wet, bro. Just get settled in, establish what you're looking for, get rid of the guys that you don't want. You got time. We're not going to fire you after 1 year. Trust me." You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I will say this, I think my impression, I guess, I don't know Sully. I don't know him very well as a GM, right? We don't know how he's going to operate, but what we do know is that he comes from an organization that does things the right way. Right. And what we do know is that they build through the draft and they build through bringing up their young players and giving them opportunities and training them well and making them take the next step of evolution in their career as NFL players. And I don't think it's on the coach now because this isn't Chris Grier anymore. Chris Grier was a yes man. Chris Grier was whatever you need. You give me the ingredients, I'll go buy them for you. The exact ones. I'm not going to think about it. That way the blame's not on me. At least that's my perception of what Chris Grier was. Sullivan seems like he's gonna be like, no, I'm going to pick this. I'm building this team. You can have input. You can tell me what you need and what you want and what your scheme indicates that the type of players you need. Do you need heavier offensive linemen? Do you need faster offensive? What do you need? And then let me go pick those players based on those subsets of criteria.
Right.
And then you coach the players that I give you, as opposed to when it was with Grier, it was, oh, you want Tyreek Hill? I'll go get you Tyreek Hill. Not, hey, I need a fast wide receiver. There's 438 of them. Let me go find one that fits our budget, fits our scheme, fits the size we need, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be real interesting, man.
And Sullivan's on record, and this part I absolutely love. And oh man, I'm sorry, I have to break this real quick. I love having my microphone on its boom again.
Oh, you got a boom arm?
I didn't have one for half the season, and I've had it for a couple months now. I'm just so happy. But so Sullivan's on record from back in Green Bay and I love this because this is what I think the Dolphins have needed for a long time. He is obsessed with giant linemen. Mm-hmm. It's his favorite thing. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want small, fast linemen. So like I said, I don't think that means he's going to cut some of our quicker linemen like Brewer and
You
things
better
like
not.
that, because Brewer
Be
did
a
great.
fucking
But
riot in the street if he does.
man, we would benefit so much from some big tackles and guards.
Well, I think we got a big ass one at left tackle.
Right.
I mean, that dude is a 6'9" or whatever he is. I mean,
Yeah, I was watching some highlights today actually of him, and he's blossoming quite well. He's taken over for Armstead and doing a wonderful job. So, I think that we could benefit from some big linemen, and this is a GM that's going to go get them.
Yeah, but look at Green Bay, how they built their team. They built it in I think I can freely speak for you and Anthony. You're in the chat. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think I can speak for all of us. We like teams that are built from the inside out. Build the offensive and the defensive line, or I guess the offensive line and the defensive front seven.
Yeah.
And then build out. And it seems, I mean, that's what they did in Green Bay for decades. Yeah. You know, and he came up under some legendary GMs. I mean, some genuine like goats of the industry.
Yep.
So he knows how to do it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm super excited to see what this draft is going to bring us. I cannot wait to see what happens during this offseason with this team. And like I said, you know, we're starting with this head coaching search, and I think that you kind of have to conduct as many interviews as you can. It's due diligence, right? So that's what the Dolphins are doing. And these are all, you know, over the internet. This is, you know, video conference interviews right now.
The only ones in person were Stefanski and was it Kubiak? No, Kubiak's in the playoffs. No.
Yeah, I think I thought they weren't allowed to do in-person interviews until
if you're not on a team. So Stefanski was fired.
Okay. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Yeah.
Stefanski was definitely in person. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
I know Robert Saleh was today, I think, and it was him and Shula, or maybe it was today or yesterday. That was today. Virtual. Yeah, they were virtual.
And Shula was supposed to be today, and I think Saleh was yesterday.
Yeah, and then we skirted right under the threshold for Kubiak because you know everyone. I mean, I think he had like 18 fucking interviews. It feels like. Right. I don't know why his name all of a sudden just blew up. It's because Houston has a hell of a defense, but I don't know, man. I know the 2 or 3 guys that I really want and what order I would love them in.
Okay, however, I'll give one, and then you give one.
Okay. Are we going from like top down? Or are we going bottom up? Or are we just listing our favorite name?
Order? No particular order. Give me one of your top 3. I'll go first. I'm gonna say I got it, and this is my pick for not much experience. I'm going with Shula.
Okay.
Every time I get more excited about him.
Yeah, Shula's on my list, so I won't say him, but he is on my list.
I think I know what you're gonna say first, but go ahead.
Stefanski.
That is not what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, Stefanski is since the start. It was him, and I mean, dating back to last offseason, I wanted Tomlin. I was like, I don't give a fuck, trade for him. I don't care. I just want somebody like Tomlin in this organization to really kind of enough with the nonsense, kids. Right? Yeah. Obviously, we all know what happened to Tomlin. That's not going to happen. But what I do want is. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. It's going fucking nuts. It's cool. I have ADD, so when I hear that shit, I like lose my train of thought. Stefanski for me is because I'm so terrified of fancy offensive coordinator number 8. Right? We've had coordinators, the hot buzzy names, the last 6 or 7 hires in a row. Yeah. No head coaching experience. No, just the new whiz kid. It's Mike McDaniel, right? This wizard offensive run game guru who's going to come in and revolutionize this offense. Well, there's so much that goes into being a head coach. It's not just drawing up plays and calling plays. It's medical scheduling. It's it's flight scheduling. It's actually creating or doing the schedule and breaking down every piece of film, not just the run game, not just the quarterback, not just the offense. It's every piece of film, going into every single meeting room, working with every single team. There's so much that goes into being a head coach that if it's your first time, it can very understandably get overwhelming. Yeah. And so for me, desperately, I want a head coach that's been a head coach before. And Stefanski.
I have a question for both of you, actually. With the rumors going around that apparently Green Bay and Matt LaFleur are far off on a deal, would you be willing to trade for Matt LaFleur?
Absolutely, depending on what the compensation was.
Yeah,
I'm not giving him a 1. I'm not even giving him a
No,
2.
that's what you're gonna have to give up because of look what the Broncos had to give up for Peyton.
Yeah, but that's two totally different things, right? Because
Yeah, I don't see it being a 1 or a 2. I would be willing to make some kind of a trade, but it wouldn't be
like
anything like that.
2/3 and a fifth.
no, see, that's still too much for me.
That's
It's a
way too
third.
much.
I'll give you a third, right? Because I compare Matt LaFleur to Mike Holmgren when he got traded.
Yeah,
as
and
a
we
head
have
coach.
an extra third.
Exactly, and they gave
Yeah.
up a 3rd-round pick for him. And I think if you look at their records collectively and their overall production as a head coach, they match real similarly. Whereas Sean Payton was, I mean, he's the quarterback guy. He's the quarterback whisperer. He's the offensive guy. I mean, he's got clout. He's got a Super Bowl or went to.
No, that's what I was going to ask. Actually, do you think also the fact that maybe fans are hesitant with him because of his performances the last few years in the playoffs, that he's made stupid coaching decisions and play calling decisions that screwed the team, and we've had this issue with Mike McDaniel, and it seems like Matt LaFleur hasn't learned and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say last year that Matt LaFleur lost that game for the Packers.
No.
That was a bad throw by Jordan Love that lost that game.
How about this game? Outside of the defense screwing them, there was times play clock management during that game was horrendous for Matt LaFleur. He left too much time on the clock for Caleb Williams to come back and beat them. Do you agree?
Yeah, yes, but we're talking about Caleb Williams making arguably 3 of his best throws ever to win that game. And yeah, look, did he make mistakes? Of course he did. I don't think any of us can argue that Matt LaFleur made some questionable coaching decisions, but I try very hard not to judge a coach on recency bias. When I'm looking at a head coach for one that I want for the Dolphins, I'm looking at the life cycle of your coaching. Right. What have you done since? Yeah. Across the rainbow, if you will. Right.
Yeah. And this is what I don't understand the obsession with some of our fans with Chris Shula and stuff like that.
I can help you with that.
Yeah. So can I.
No, I know because of the name. And this is why I'm saying this is a bad. What?
It's not the name. He's a fantastic defensive coach. And we've had an offensive-minded coach the last 4 years that hasn't succeeded. This is a young defensive coach that commands respect at such a young age. It's not something that's very common.
Yeah, but what I feel, I want to stay away from. But Josh and Frozen Fin Fan, this is where I want to stay away from. I would be happy that we hire Chris, but I would stay away from him because some of our idiot fan base is going to put unrealistic standards for him to be his grandfather because of the name.
Yeah, because of the name.
Yeah,
sure.
But
yeah, I can see that.
Look at what he's done as a defensive coordinator in LA. They have the 31st. There you go. There's some fucking English for you.
31st.
They have
31st.
The 31st lowest, or 31st. There's only.
I think they're ranked.
They're
really low on their defense, right?
Nope. There's one team that is lower than them on money spent on an entire defensive unit.
Yeah.
Meaning they have his unit is all young.
The Packers.
It's all built from the ground up through draft picks and through young players getting second chances. They don't have a Micah Parsons. They don't have somebody making $30 million or whatever it is. The
Packers.
The right way.
I'm guessing outside Micah Parsons, actually, everybody on that defense is really young.
Mm-hmm. But when we're talking about Shula, that's one of the reasons why I love him, because he's developed his young players, which is something that the Dolphins we haven't done in probably a decade.
Yeah, and
are you guys like some of our fan base that want to stay away from Marlo Salah because he was a Jets coach?
No, I could give two shits who he coached. I think he's a hell of a defensive coordinator.
I'll give you a hell no in a minute here about we'll do that game. One coach that's a hell no for you, but the reason that I'm really intrigued by Shula is what Josh was just touching on is the fact that he has the ability to make something out of not a lot of something, like almost nothing. And if you look at John Eric Sullivan, he has that same ability
Mhm.
to maximize these young players and to maximize the draft. You put that coach, Shula, and John Eric Sullivan together, and I think that's a winning combination. I can't say for sure. None of us can, but I think that's a good place to start from. And you could also get Shula for a very small price. And that would be another benefit to Miami.
Well,
I want
somebody-
Jesse
it wouldn't
Minter.
cost us anything.
Huh?
It wouldn't
I
cost.
want
us
Minter.
Yeah. And the other thing that we have to think about is he's somebody that if it doesn't work out, you can let him go. You don't have to sign him to a long contract,
Mhm.
being Shula. But I think that Shula and John Eric Sullivan work well together. They're both young. They have a very similar mentality in the draft and what they want out of a team. I think it would work out very well.
And this is it with Sullivan. Is he a defensive? In terms of drafting, is he a defensive-minded drafter when it comes to like how
No.
he scouts and stuff? Like, do you know what
No,
I'm asking?
he wants big people. He wants football players.
Well, he just
doesn't-
takes. He likes best person available, and
Yeah.
I just found out today that he won some like he's a 2-time award winner for best scout.
Executive.
Best
Sullivan
scout?
is. Yeah, best
Yeah.
best scout in the nation or something like that for it's like some prestigious award in the scouting realm of teams.
Yeah,
I
and for me, when I like the Sullivan hire because, let's be honest, like I said, I looked up his resume. It wasn't Gutekunst. Even though they hired Gutekunst as a GM, they completely ignored Ron Wolf because Ron Wolf wanted Sullivan as a GM of the Packers before he retired, but they chose Gutekunst because
Yeah, Gutekunst is a hell of a fucking GM, though. I'll tell you that much. Pardon my French, Dirk.
yeah,
you're good.
no, and do you guys think we're gonna? It seems like we're cleaning out the front office. Do you think he brings a ton of Packers guys with him, or he looks around the league to bring people from other championship organizations?
I mean, for me personally, Dirk, I feel like this is the first time in a decade plus where I feel like this GM's going to make the right choices from a front office standpoint.
Same.
If it ends up being a bunch of Packers, I'm bought in, dude. Like I'm bought in.
And do you guys think fans are panicking with the Joe Rose report saying that both Andrew Garfinkel and Brandon Shore are involved in the high, like they had more power than the GM in hiring the coach?
No.
No.
The way this is being designed and working is John Sullivan is the general manager. He's in charge. Champ Kelly and Brandon Shore are working beneath him, but they are carrying certain responsibility aspects of the general manager position. It's kind of like the same thing that's going on in Green Bay where John Eric Sullivan came from. It allows Sullivan to focus on player personnel,
The scouting.
recruiting, scouting, yes, things like that, the draft, and managing the team, and not have to focus on contracts and things like that. Brandon Shore is a fantastic contract negotiator. The only problem with him in the past is that Chris Greer had the final say on these contracts, and he was forcing Shore to give him these contracts. Brandon Shore did not want to do all these big contracts.
So Champ Kelly, Garfinkel, and Shore are going to be the financial side, the cap management stuff.
No,
contracts.
Champ Kelly is assisting with scouting. He's assisting John Sullivan.
Why did
Brandon
we fire
Shore
the guy
is
from
doing-
why did we fire what's his name? Marvin Allen, who we brought from the Chiefs.
Marvin Allen was a horrible decision as an assistant GM, and he basically was a yes man to Chris Greer.
Mhm.
Those two are mostly responsible for every wrong decision the Dolphins have made in the front office in the past 5 years. Right?
So you'd rather have kept Reggie McKenzie, who went to the
I'd rather have anybody that changes the positions.
I
I'd
just
rather
want
have
somebody
anybody.
new. I don't
Yep.
really. I mean, look,
Personally, I think Garfinkel needs to go too, and I would not be surprised if he ends up getting let go as well.
Mhm. I agree with that.
And you think Garfinkel was a yes man to Greer?
Oh, I know he was.
Yes.
Yeah, look at the contracts.
Absolutely.
Just look at the contracts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
Brandon Shore was the one that didn't want to.
Realistic. This is an honest question. Let's say we get a Matt LaFleur, and let's say we take the play calling duties around off, like away from him, and bring in a coordinator. I'm not saying we get him because he's not going to leave Texas until Arch leaves, but let's say he's able to bring a guy like a Sarkisian. I'm not saying Sarkisian exactly, but a guy like that who, like, it feels like Sarkisian doesn't want to be in college anymore, even though he's getting paid that amount of money in Texas. I think he's going to leave after Arch leaves in a year and a half.
I mean, that's a possibility, but the way where we're at right now as a team in this offseason, I'm not worrying about offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators right now. I mean, it does concern me about our defensive coordinator because we're going to probably end up needing one, especially
you think he
if
ends up
Weaver
going to
gets a
Baltimore?
job. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Honestly, looking at the track record, if you look at the track record of Steelers, like on the ages of when they drafted, signed their coaches to these contracts, Chuck Noll was 34. Bill Cowher was 35. Tomlin was the same age as Cowher, and I think they would go after a guy like what is it called? An Anthony Weaver, who's around that same age, where they can have him for like 15 years and stuff like that.
Well, that's the problem. If you're a good defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator, you're going to be every year. You're going to be in the head coaching calls.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like the Steelers are at a point where they are forcing themselves to make changes.
Yeah, like us.
They've had the exact same thing happen for countless years. I do not think the Steelers are going to hire a defensive coach.
So back to what I was asking. So you guys think the fans are overreacting when they heard that from Joe Rose that Brandon Shore was basically in charge of the hiring?
Well, I just think if fans are overreacting, that's one thing, but I think it's fake news. I don't think
from Joe Rose.
I don't think that's what's happening.
That's not. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time Joe Rose has said something completely off base. I'm not saying he's a liar, but Joe Rose doesn't know everything.
Yeah, no,
he writes opinion pieces.
And for me, Josh and Dirk, I've said this multiple times. I don't trust any of our beat writers say at face value because they care more about their press pass and credentials than actually telling the fans the truth. And they're so embedded in the franchise, so they're going to paint a rosy picture and say what the owner wants to say instead of saying the truth. Who I focus on is the guys who don't cover the team all the time. I understand the beat writers are important because they're covering the team day to day, but a guy like Adam Schefter, who has connections in every franchise, who doesn't have he doesn't really have a hardcore he would tell the truth. You understand what I'm saying? He's not going to lie to the fan base.
Yeah. Anthony, I think that just as well as I do, I'm sure. I think that after we go through a couple more of these last interviews, I think we're going to narrow down this search really quick. I think it's going to come down to 3 or 4. But if I'm looking
why
at
do you think people want to stay? Why is it because of the last few records he has in Cleveland? Why the fans want to stay away from Stefanski?
I want Stefanski bad, man, because he's a 2-time coach of the year. He multiple playoff appearances with horrible fucking teams. Got straddled with a contract in Deshaun Watson that he wanted nothing of, but he was forced to get.
The owner for the Browns is the extreme the other way. He's like a Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to control everything and stuff like that. But we have an owner who's the opposite way. He hires the wrong people and lets the wrong people have power in the front, and he just he's out of it completely. He's like the Jets owner.
Well, so I don't think that Stefanski would be a bad hire at all. He does have coaching experience. That's a huge bonus for him. He's in my top 5. I have him. I have Shula. I have added. It was a top 4. Now I made it 5 because I have added Campanile to my.
What do you
to
have,
my list.
LaFleur?
I don't have LaFleur in my
Really?
actual desirables. No, just because of the trade issue. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't be bummed. But if I had to pick my 5, it would be Campanile, it would be Shula, it would be Stefanski, and it
How about
would
Mentor?
be.
I'm good with Mentor.
Nah, he's not on my top. And there's one here that people are Clint Kubiak, obviously, and the other
I'm
one
good
that
with
I'm
Kubiak,
interested
too.
in. This one I'm interested in, and people are going to scoff at me, but I want you to hear me out. Nobody interrupt me. Robert Saleh. I have him on my list. And we talked about it, Josh, a little bit in the chat, in the group chat. And I am right on board with you in this, is that he is going to be a good coach. Here's my
top
I'm telling
5.
you, hang on. The next time that he gets to be a head coach, I think he's going to nail it.
Well,
Here's my top 5. My number 1 is Stefanski. My number 2 is Shula. My number 3 is Spagnuolo.
He ain't gonna come to Miami.
No way.
No.
But it would be nice though. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I wouldn't complain.
I wouldn't fucking hate it at all.
The defensive and my number 4 is Mike McCarthy.
And your last one's Mentor?
Yeah, Mentor. What are your thoughts on my list, Ace and
I like your first 2.
I'm not impressed with Mentor.
Yeah.
I mean that you're talking about the Chargers defensive coordinator. I'm not.
But look at what he's done with that defense. Before the last 2 years, before this year, their defense was always ranked like number 31, like on the bottom third. The last 2 years, they're ranked in the top 10.
Yep, and they're star-studded and they're loaded and they're run by that organization is run by a GM and a head coach that know what the hell they're doing, which gets them good players. I haven't seen the player development from a defensive coordinator that I want for a guy that's never been a head coach that's going to be making the jump. It gives me Mike McDaniel vibes, but just on the defensive side. I'm not saying he's a bad defensive coordinator. I think he's a hell of a defensive coordinator. Do
you like McCarthy or stay away from McCarthy?
I'm all out on McCarthy. I'm all out on John Gruden. I'm all out on all of those. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, I would stay away from.
You think you guys feel McCarthy's like out of touch with how offenses are run today? He's that traditional Bill Walsh.
No, I don't think he's out of touch. I just don't think he's a good coach.
Yeah, I don't think he's got staying power, and it's an opinion, right? I'm not saying he's a horrible guy.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
And I have a question, Dirk. Why did you compare? What's it called, LaFleur to Holmgren?
I didn't compare LaFleur to Holmgren.
No, I did from a trade standpoint. I didn't compare him to coaches. Okay. Yeah, like because when Holmgren I forgot what team he got traded from.
Seattle.
Yeah, they gave up a 3rd-round pick for him. And if you look at their overall records and their kind of everything like that, it compares similarly to Mike LaFleur. So, I hear a lot of on our podcast, we get a lot of people that are like, well, would you give up a first? No, I'm all set. If that's what it's going to cost, Green Bay is crazy. Because you're talking about a disgruntled head coach who wants more money.
Right.
They're not going to pay him. They're trying to restructure their entire organization from a hierarchical standpoint, meaning, who's in charge of who does, LaFleur need to report to, and he's no longer going to be in charge. And so you're talking about a coach that is completely going to hate his situation. I'm not going to just willingly give up a 1st round. Fine. I'll wait until next year. Until he's gone, because you're not going to pay him. He wants 18 to 20 million a year.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. This is you give me one coach. This coach is the hell no coach.
Me?
Yeah. You get both of you guys. You guys take turns here. Give me just one coach who is a hell no for you. Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine is Joe Brady. Please
God.
stay away from Joe Brady. They've requested an interview with him, and I don't want anything to do with Joe
Brian
Brady's
Dable.
tees. He said Brian Dable.
Are we just talking
that's a
about
good one.
any coach we don't want, or coaches that we actually have in
I'm hoping for coaches that we are going to be interviewing.
For me, it's
requesting.
Kelvin Shepard.
I agree with that too. That's a good one.
It's not a slight on him. He was a hell of a player for us when he played for us. He's a up and coming defensive coordinator on a very good team. I don't think he's ready. And
right,
you know, could you say, how the fuck am I the only one on camera here? Could you say,
sucker,
that he's getting it for the Rooney Rule? You know what I mean? Which, sure, probably. Which is another reason why, if for those of you that don't know, based on my understanding, why we haven't actually hired anyone yet. We're still going through process, but also we haven't met the Rooney Rule yet, so we cannot hire anyone.
Did McDaniel fit the Rooney Rule when we were interviewing him? Did he qualify for the Rooney Rule?
No,
I know he's. I think so, but I'm not sure.
Wait, isn't the Rooney Rule the one where you have to interview
two
minority coaches?
Yeah, minority coaches in your cycle.
How would McDaniel? Did you say McDaniel?
Yeah, because he was like Hispanic.
Really?
Yeah,
okay, I didn't know
like
that.
half Hispanic or something like that.
I was like, what are you guys talking about?
He's half black.
Oh, that's what he was.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, because when you look at him, his skin tone is really dark, like me. Oh no, but my, like I said, my hell no is Brian Dable. Look what he
did. We ask to interview him?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
but no. I have a sinking feeling that Ross is going to do something that stupid.
No,
I hope not.
I don't.
I think as a whole, I really like the list of coaches that they've already requested to interview. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anybody else added to this list. I think
a sneaky good option for us is Jeff Halfley. Right.
I just started looking into him.
Well, remember, we all say ugh, but if Matt, we're talking about a Green Bay Packers team that is significantly better than us from an organization standpoint and a player standpoint.
I followed him in college.
Who is going to replace Matt LaFleur? If Matt LaFleur leaves, Jeff Halfley 100. I would bet my house is Green Bay's next head coach if we don't hire him.
If Green Bay doesn't get him, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Steelers pick him up either.
I'm just who Halfley?
Yeah.
I mean, he's Boston College head coach. I mean, I know it's college. However, it's still head coaching experience. Hell of a coach. I mean, I'm not saying he's my favorite choice, but he's my sleeper.
We're gonna be on a Wildcat.
If it's down to these two guys, who do you guys choose? Kubiak or Halfley?
I'd take Kubiak.
So I'm the tiebreaker. Let's see. We just had an offense. We had a defensive coach before McDaniel. Now we had an offensive coach with McDaniel. Oh, my God, I would rather have a special teams coach like a Darren Rizzi or something like that.
Darren Rizzi.
No, I'm talking
as a head coach.
No, I would rather have I'm not saying I want Darren Rizzi. I'm saying I want a special teams coach like a guy like in the mold of John Harbaugh, where he's not on either side of the ball and stuff like that.
I don't hate it. I mean, at this point, we can't get much worse
but you understand. I'm sick and tired of being focused on one side of the ball instead of having a coach that's going to hire the right people so he doesn't have to call the plays. I'm sick and tired of doing that. That's what's hurt us the past 20 years. We're hiring often either a defensive minded coach or the last 10 years. We've hired coaches on either side of the ball who want to control everything on that side of the ball and let it be a free-for-all on the other side where they don't know how to hire coaches and stuff like that.
Well, if you look at the NFL as a whole, I would say probably 90% of the teams in the league do the exact same thing. I mean,
not
really,
the Chiefs, not the Chiefs.
Well, I mean, you're okay.
Not
You're talking about
I'm looking,
a historical, like
not
historically
the
good head coach in
not the
organization.
Bills, not the Eagles, not the Rams.
The Bills head coach before
Was defensive coordinator, wasn't he?
he called the defense.
Oh, Leslie Frazier.
No,
Was it? I thought Leslie Frazier was their DC there before they hired McDermott.
You're talking about head coaches doing the coordinator job, insisting on it and calling the plays. The Bills do that.
Oh no, but when you look at McDermott, he actually hires guys, and he doesn't call the plays. Like I talked to Buffalo fans. He doesn't actually call the plays on defense. He actually lets the coordinator call the plays, and he's actually controlling everything around. Like he does the drafting, and they're responsible. He's responsible for telling the GM who to draft and stuff like that. He's like a CEO. He's not gonna micromanage everything.
It's not very common. It's not very common though. It's not. So, I mean, if we wind up with a defensive coach that wants to call plays or an offensive coach that wants to call offensive plays, I mean, if they can handle it, they should do it. If they can't, then something needs to happen, right? I don't think all coaches are the same as Mike McDaniel was. I don't think he had the ability yet to do that. Flores alienated every assistant coach on that team. So
all bullshit aside, man, Mike McDaniel's still to this day a hell of an offensive coordinator. His issue was not calling plays. His issue was everything else, because he didn't know how to do it, and it was just too much for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know Clint was a former defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Most head coaches were on one side of the ball or the other.
No, but he's an OC now. But I didn't know he was a defensive coach before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is this isn't really a incredibly uncommon thing to have a coach that wants to control a side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty common actually. So I mean, I'd really honestly say 90% of the league does it. So I'm not really worried too much.
Dirk, here we go. I got the solution. All right,
give it to me.
You're the head coach. I'm the offensive coordinator. Anthony's the defensive coordinator, and let's see what fucking happens. All right.
Don't trust me. I might screw you guys.
Hey, it can't get much worse than it was.
Guys, what would your opinions be? Like, let's say the new coach comes in and he wants to keep Anthony Weaver and stuff like that, but he's a defensive coach and stuff like that. Does that make sense? Does that make logical sense if you hire a defensive coach, but he keeps a defensive coordinator? Like, does that mean that coach wants to be like what's the term? He doesn't want to micromanage the defense. He wants to become like a CEO instead of like he wants to hire the staff and let the staff do what they do, and he controls everything else. The game management.
As long as there's a change, as long as something different is happening, I don't care. And like I said, I'm very satisfied with the GM selection. And until I see negative results from him being in office, which means until I see a bad head coach or until I see a bad design in the front office, I'm going to support him. Any change is good to me.
The incompetence has caused fans to be jaded and untrustworthy.
We're the most jaded and untrustworthy fan base, and rightfully so. That is not an indictment on us as fans. We have been shafted.
We're jaded,
right.
but we're also, some of our fan base is delusional too. Let's not.
Well, that's not limited only to Miami.
No,
this is one of those things where we have a bird's eye view of the Miami Dolphins fan base, right? Because we're Dolphins fans. I have, in the last year and a half that I've been doing this, I've been heavily following every team that we play, which is now almost every team in the league. And I see the same things on every team. I know we think that it's worse for us, but it's not.
It's not.
You should hear.
Look, my brother and best
Yeah.
friend and one of my best friends. So my brother and one of our collective best friends are Patriots fans, and another friend of the groups is a Bills fan, and they're just as fucking off hinged as we are. I mean,
No, but I'm gonna bring up, like, I where I live in Florida, I have a ton of Packers fans. When I talk to them, they're not delusional. They seem very down to earth.
Well, I know,
but they're
here's the
very
difference.
snobby.
The Packers have hope. These teams that are having issues right now, any team that has issues with their coaching staff, their ownership, or anything like that, like fans of Baltimore, fans of Pittsburgh, these fans are, I would say, even more jaded than we are. And it's weird because they have some form of success in the last 10 years. We don't. So you have jaded and delusional fans on every fan base. I know we see it more with Miami.
Like I said, our fan base feels like extreme because some of our fan base thought our quarterback that we have now was the left arm of God.
Well,
and stuff like that.
I mean, look, I'll be the first to admit when we got Tua, I was happy. I liked
me too. I was all.
And I thought
I wasn't.
I thought until
fully in
until 2023. Until 2023,
I wasn't from the beginning, and here's why. Like Dirk, I've talked to you about this before when I was just on in the chat, and I said when Saban and Sarkisian and even Dable said that they basically had to like simplify the offense to the extreme for Tua, where he only read only one half of the field on the other side and said the whole field. That was a big red flag for me, and the injuries too.
Well, sure. Almost every person who comes out of the NFL draft has red flags.
Every one of them.
And so, like I said, I know the red flags that Tua had, and it was discussed when he first came. I wasn't doing this channel.
I wanted Herbert. I wanted Herbert.
And what has Herbert done?
Exactly.
I mean, he throws a shitload of yards, but none of it translates into anything.
I've had this discussion multiple times with people, and while I did have Herbert ranked above Tua and I wanted him more, I was not upset when we got Tua.
Same.
And let's be real.
Weren't the injury concern, like his injuries seriously concerning for you?
The injuries. Let's be real. Tell me the injuries he had in college.
The hip injury, which he caused because he was playing damn hero ball all the time. Saban even said that. Saban said him and Sarkisian said he hated that Tua would constantly play hero ball instead of doing the smart play.
Right, but people, when they talk about Tua coming out of college, people act like he was constantly hurt and that all this stuff was so horrible and everybody knew he was going to be this horrible injured player. Nobody knew that. We could have had red flags.
And also my other red flags is also, how do you, like, for me, there was times during his career where his performances on the field caused him to get pulled for Jalen Hurts, too. Like he got sat down during a big national championship, and Jalen Hurts got put in.
But the opposite also happened, right? Jalen Hurts got sat down, and Tua came in at halftime and won the game.
Yep.
Half this league was tank for Tua. There were hashtag tank for Tua. There was trending.
Let's not.
Maybe not in your household, but I mean, well, no shit. We had the number one overall pick, of course. I'm talking about
that's different.
Realistic.
That's
right.
We weren't going to get the number one pick. I mean, and everybody knew that year who was going to be number one.
Let's not all pretend that in 2023, when Tua led the league in passing yards over 20 yards and completion percentage and accuracy and all of these major key statistical things, we weren't all singing from the top of the house that we had the best fucking quarterback, right?
Yeah, I mean, wait, hang on, Liz. I totally did. I can't believe you caught it. Liz said, "Where did she go?" Oh, right here. Liz, any Tua fan belongs at Western State Institution. I was trying to think of a way to reply, but I didn't get a chance. Whatever, Liz.
But I understand what you guys are saying, but the lack. I hope it doesn't sound like I hate Tua, but his injuries throughout his tenure with Miami has caused me to be super jaded to the point where I don't even have faith that we're going to draft the right quarterback, to be honest.
Well, but your faith was put into a regime that was shitty. I mean, we're talking about an entire new regime. We're talking about a new GM, a new structure, a new head coach, a new what I assume will be.
Do you think Sullivan keeps Tua? In your guys' honest opinion,
fucking
outside
way
of Tua?
There's no way. He might financially have to keep him on the roster this year, but he's not playing.
He's not going to play. Yeah.
No, and I think they
expressed interest in leaving.
I think they cut him post June 1st. I mean, and take our medicine. Look, we made a bad deal. Yep. At some point, you
guys want to see what we have for Quinn? Like, I have a question. Did you guys like what you saw from Quinn the last 3 games?
I saw enough to think that he should be given a shot in preseason.
Same. Do I think, over his career, he's going to be a top flight number 1 quarterback? Absolutely not. I think he's more suited to be a number 2, but I think he's earned the right, at least in a rebuilding year.
The thing, I like Quinn, but I've said this to people who are Quinn fans, and I'm one myself. He's an elite backup that can be a fringe starter, but he's not going to be your franchise or your your starter for 15 games. He's a spot starter like a Kirk Cousins was when he first got into the league.
Let me play devil's advocate here.
Oh boy.
Do you know how many quarterbacks that we have said the exact same thing about and end up being Hall of Famers? A lot. I can think of one right off the top of my head that drove this team
Brady.
And this division crazy. We can't say after seeing a quarterback I know. Okay, go ahead.
Time out.
Do it.
Let's compare Brady Quinn to the best to ever do it. These kind of conversations make me want to jump off a roof. Oh, you don't know. Maybe it's Brock Purdy. Maybe it's Tom Brady. Dude, you're talking.
Maybe it is Josh. Maybe it is.
Maybe I win the lottery tomorrow. Let's not put unrealistic expectations.
Maybe I win the lottery, and maybe I'm able to move to a private island.
I mean,
hang on. Maybe I'm not saying that, Josh, at all. Believe me, I'm not saying that Quinn is that. But what I'm saying is it's unfair to look at him after 3 games and say he's a backup.
No, I mean, but no, I don't think that's unfair. Do I think he's earned the right to challenge whoever we bring in to start for this team during a rebuild? Absolutely. And if he turns out to be a quality starting quarterback, great. He can be a quality starting quarterback. That's our number 2.
No, and my ceiling for him is Chad Pennington.
Okay, that's cool.
These comments are killing me.
I know, they're great, dude.
Oh my goodness, I'm dying here. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Coach. What's up, Kat? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Kat.
What's good, fellas?
What's up?
Give us some truth speak.
What do you want some truth about? You want some truth about Tyreek Hill?
Let's move on from Tua. Because I don't think he's going to play for us this year. He might be on the team, but he ain't doing nothing for us. So moving on from Tua. Sorry, Liz. I know you love him.
She's the biggest Tua fan out there.
She loves Tua as much as I love your Ted Ginn jersey.
Oh, man.
Why did you have to bring Ted Ginn up, Josh? Why? That was another idiotic pick, to be honest.
Yeah, Dirk. What an idiotic thing to own.
Shut up, you guys. That's it. I'm wearing my Ted Ginn jersey every time I do a live stream.
You just lost a subscriber.
Wait, do you have a Chris Clemens jersey too?
No. No. I'm trying to think. I do have a Tua jersey, but that was a gift from a subscriber. So.
Josh, I bet you I'm joking around. He probably has a Jay Fiedler jersey somewhere there.
How dare you make fun of Lord Fiedler?
Hey, Fiedler. Fiedler on the roof. Oh, that was horrible. Sorry.
Dad joke. Man. Dad joke right there.
Kat, what do you got about Tyreek?
Well, I mean, I haven't really gotten much since post Mike McDaniel. But pre Mike McDaniel, he was all for coming back to Miami. right, had even mentioned willing to adjust his contract, restructure his contract. Then the morning after, like the morning of Mike McDaniel getting fired, like he had his exit meeting the day before Mike McDaniel got fired, didn't go live on any of his platforms, and then the day of Mike McDaniel getting fired, like within an hour, he goes live and then starts saying some stuff about the Dolphins. And it seemed like he might be out the door.
Financially, we can't keep him. Even if we restructure his contract, we still owe him the money. So it's either
Yeah.
we kick a portion of that $53 million or whatever it is that this is coming year, his final year of his, I think it's 53, 52. Even if we restructure or re-sign him to a 5-year deal, that money is still there. It either gets kicked down the road as a signing bonus and then split over the length of the contract, or we pay it for him up front. And there's no way on God's green earth this team can afford that.
Well, I mean, ideally though, he said it himself. He's willing to restructure. So like keeping him on the team, kicking that money down the road, it's not a bad option for the team because realistically we need to get rid of Waddle. So if we're getting rid of Hill and Waddle, hold on, no, we need to get rid of dropping Waddle. We need to get rid of Droddle. I'll call his ass dropping all them passes. Dropple, whatever you want to call it. We need to get rid of him. So if we're getting rid of him and we're getting rid of Tyreek Hill, then we need to draft wide receiver heavy, or we're going to be picking up free agents again, and probably injury prone free agents.
Well, I can promise you,
hopefully not.
There is 0% chance. I mean, I would bet everything I own that Hill. There's no way Hill's back, especially if this team decides to cut to a post June 1st.
Yeah,
this year we need the cap flexibility to absorb the $52 million, $48 million hit by cutting.
Yeah, but I still don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities to trade Tua. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities.
So how do you say? And yeah, I would love to trade Tua, but what do you think a trade for Tua looks like? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I've lingered around the possibilities of an Arizona trade, right? Kyler Murray, Tua, both teams kind of in the same situation with their quarterback. Contracts are similar. Tua's is slightly higher. So of course it would be player for player, but we would still have to eat some money, right? So let's say we eat $8 to $12 million off of his contract, trade player for player, and instead of hitting 30 million post June, we only get 12 million by trading him and getting a slightly better quarterback.
Well, see, I don't think he's slightly better at all, personally. Isn't he on an insanely high contract this year? Isn't he on 40 something million, Kyler?
He's got a bigger contract. I'm pretty sure
it's
not
massive.
Tua level, but
it's not Tua. It's not 53. I'm pretty sure
right.
It's in the 40s.
There's like I said, there's a slight difference.
Mm-hmm.
So we would cover a little bit to make it even, but it would still be less than what we'd be losing with Tua.
Look, I mean,
and it'd be a slight upgrade, and it's not permanent either. So
yeah, I am all out on Kyler, but if that gets Tua off our books, fine. I mean, what it is. Nothing I can do about it. That's not the decision I would make. I think take your medicine. You made a bad decision as a franchise. At some point, you're going to have to pay the piper, and we're in a rebuilding year. We have a whole new front office. What I assume is going to be a whole new coaching staff.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that coaches are going to be gone, and I've been talking about that anyways. We have a few of the coaching staff that needs to get replaced.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because you have to assume all of the offensive side of the ball is gone. All of the Anthony Weaver's probably going somewhere else, whether as a head coach or another defensive coordinator. Which means the entire defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and just to chime in on that,
oh God, yeah,
Harbaugh with the Giants has specifically said that he's trying to get Weaver as a defensive coordinator. So
5 year, $100 million.
If
Could you imagine?
Happened.
Could you imagine?
Good grief, yeah.
$20 million a year. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, come on, you could You could put a booster seat back there behind the line, and Kyler could stand on it. Come on.
I don't
Blake,
understand. And Kat, I'm not saying this is you. I'm just saying holistically. I don't understand the infatuation with Kyler Murray across the league.
Well, I mean, ideally too, when I was originally coming out with this was under the Mike McDaniel scheme to where he would have fit better with Mike McDaniel. So now like that, the whole ideal of like him having the mobility in this offense, I don't know what this offense is going to look like.
Yeah, well, that's the
yeah.
thing, right?
I think you're right.
Mm.
Yeah, I would have felt a little better about it if it happened, if it was in Mike McDaniel's scheme. Also, it would give a little bit of mobility.
But I don't think it would work in Mike McDaniel's scheme either. Kyler's not accurate. And what's the number one thing?
Right, but the biggest thing, but the biggest thing that held us back was the lack of Tua's mobility, the lack of the threat of the run. So like even if you just pose a little bit threat of a run, it opens up possibilities elsewhere on the field. So like a slight upgrade. Yes, it doesn't seem like an upgrade on paper at all, but just because he's a little bit better with the legs, like it's a slight upgrade.
I mean,
because it opens up everything else.
I'd rather have Quinn Ewers.
Well, I mean, that's what we got. So I don't know what it's.
Well, according to Dirk,
I honestly can't tell you what the landscape's going to look like next year. Like it's.
I mean, Kat, according to Dirk, Quinn Ewers is the next Tom Brady.
I did not say that.
That's what we heard. We all heard it. We heard it here first.
I wasn't here for that, so I didn't hear it.
I did not say that. He's lying. Why are you always lying?
You know another quarterback that was drafted in the 7th round.
I'm just saying I think it's unfair for people to write him off, and say, oh, he's a backup quarterback. He might be a serviceable backup quarterback. He might be the greatest backup quarterback ever. He might
Tom Brady. You never know.
You never know. But what I am saying is I think that he's definitely earned a spot on this team in some facet.
For sure. I want Quinn on this team as our backup because when he was in for those last 3 games, we said it. I heard it on your show. We said it on our podcast. The whole offense was calm and collected, and even under pressure, he had his shit together because look, this was the number 1 recruit coming out of high school going to Texas. He played at a very big program that played against very big college programs as opponents and other teams. And he did really well. He held off Arch Manning when he came in. He was the next fucking big thing.
You guys in the comments are nuts tonight, man.
Also, in case those in the comments or those watching this later, if you're not watching this live, Dirk also thinks Ted Ginn could come back and be the next Randy Moss.
That would be awesome. Ted Ginn's better than AB.
Well, that's because AB doesn't even know who he is.
Ted Ginn still knows who he is. Yeah, we'll go with that.
You can find AB at the Western State Institution. One on two
with the drugs involved. Really? Oh man, I will say this. I also I think that I'd be okay with Waddle being on the team next year. I kind of think we should try to hang on to him for now.
Me too.
He's the least invasive. Yeah, he's the least invasive contract out of all these bigger contracts. Mm-hmm. It's not really going to affect us much, and he does get results when he's got a quarterback who puts it where it needs to be. He does drop a few balls, but not as much as Tyreek did.
There you go.
So,
shots.
And I'm not trying to take shots at Tyreek. It's just we got to remember these things. We can't just forget about that. Tyreek dropped twice as many balls as Waddle did.
You can take as many shots as you want against Hill because as soon as he walked off that field in week 18 of last year, he would have been off my team. There's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that. I'm sorry.
No. It's rough. I don't think he's going to be back anyway.
You quit on your team. You quit on your team and then went in the locker room and said, I want to get out of here. Well, fuck off then. See you later. Go have another 6 kids in another state,
I think we got to call Ginn Jr. up. I'm buying Josh a jersey if that happens.
I swear to Christ.
Hopefully it's number 19 like his daddy.
Ted Ginn Jr.
Jr. Ted, I guess it would be Ted Ginn the turd.
Oh boy.
Good grief.
All right, on that note,
derailing quick.
Guys, it's been great.
All right, so let me shift gears here. We've been talking about all this stuff, but to pull something up here and we can talk about it because I'm very, very nervous about this. This is something that I don't like and I'm not happy about it at all. Let's see. How do I do this? There we go. And bam. Where is it? There it is. Sorry.
Bearing the lead.
I'm slow.
Okay. I was waiting for this conversation.
Look at this. Just look at it.
Are we going to talk about how many games we think we're going to win?
Yeah, I canceled my season tickets today.
Yeah, and it's sad, all right, because people are going to think that, like, I'm not expecting a whole bunch of success in the win-loss columns this year coming up.
I'm expecting a lot of success in the loss columns.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of changes coming down the pipe, and that's what I'm clinging to, and I'm hoping for a harder playing team and maybe a more confident team, better attitude, that kind of stuff, work ethic. But I don't know what we're going to see out of this schedule because this is rough.
Well, this is we have the second hardest strength of schedule.
Yeah, I believe it.
We do.
Yeah,
it's statistically, I think rough. I forgot who's right above us, but it's only by like a percentage of a point.
I'm pretty sure it's the Bears that are above us, and yeah, it's not a wide margin.
Yeah, it's Chicago.
And I mean, look, through the lens of, and I think this is very important for Dolphins fans to remember, that 2026 is going to suck. There is no sugarcoating it. There's no silver linings. This is a foundational rebuilding year. We're going to see a mass exodus of players and contracts so that we can get our cap situation in order. We're going to have a new regime trying to implement new structure, a new culture. And I know that's a buzzy word, but that's what they're doing.
Let me ask you guys, do you guys think that like Ross's decisions was based on this? Because like the schedule came out before any of these decisions were ever made. Like Greer was already gone, but like the GM decision, the coach Mike McDaniel getting fired, because like seeing this schedule, like he's probably looking at it too, thinking the same thing we are.
Yeah, I think that this is part of the reason that this is actually can be looked at
a good
as
year
a positive
for a rebuild
for a coach. Yeah, because you can tell whatever coach comes in, whatever general manager comes in, Stephen Ross tells the general manager, "Look, this next year is going to be rough." But in 2027, we're going to be sitting pretty with a high draft pick, and you can just kind of work things out this next year coming up. You got a whole extra season, and I'm not going to fire you. No way.
And don't forget, Dirk, if the moves that are expected to be made from a player getting cut standpoint, that includes getting off of Tua's contract. I did the math. I broke down contracts. I mean, that's what I do. I love doing that kind of nonsense. Estimates. Moving on from the players that are anticipated that we move on from, both post June 1st and regular cuts. Next year we suck from a cap standpoint and from a team standpoint, but in 2027 we'll have close to $100 million.
I
think we're at like 90.
I thought we were like 106.
It's 93 million.
Yeah, that's
in change.
It's
in 2028.
Awesome.
In 2028, we'll have, assuming that the cap goes up by the average percentage that it has been over the last 5 years, and it continues to go up, which it will.
Which is about what? It's like 21 to 23 million per year is about the average.
It's about 13%, I think, is what it was. We'll have close to, in 2027, we'll have almost 100 million in cap space. In 2028, we'll have almost 130.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 2026 is when I say it's a foundational year, we're going to suck. We're not going to have any money. We're going to be bargain shopping at the Dollar General.
Yeah, because we got what, 29 free agents this year, like hitting the market.
This team is we thought this team was young this year. When we were ranked this past season, we were ranked the 5th youngest team in the NFL with all of the turnover that we had from the previous year.
Yeah.
If we thought this team was young last season, in 2026, this team's going to be infantile because we're going to have to draft. We're going to have to play those draft picks. We're going to have to sign unrestricted free agents to play significant minutes because we're not going to have any money. I mean, if I'm looking at the schedule now, I think we win 3 games, and that's being generous.
Yeah. That's what Collis says here.
Oh, there you go.
And I agree. Yeah.
I mean,
3 or 4 games.
I figure Jets, we split with the Jets. I have us winning the Jets. I have us beating the Chargers, and I have us beating LA. Those are
And
my
I think,
wins.
and I
next
think I have a possibility of the Raiders at the
That's
Raiders
what I
game.
meant.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I also have a slight chance for a little bit of revenge against the Colts.
Or it honestly too, it could be a Kansas City depending on when it is in the schedule. Like if it's
Yeah.
super early in the schedule and they don't have everybody back yet, Kansas City could be vulnerable early.
Yeah. But ultimately, what I'm looking at is I think they're going to give us stuff to cheer for this
Mhm.
coming year. I just don't think we're going to see success in the win column. That's
So let me ask you guys. This, because like I feel like we haven't actually, like, we've done a lot of the coaching interviews. We haven't made a decision yet. I feel like we're still waiting. We're still waiting to see what happens with Green Bay, right? And
Mhm.
LaFleur. I feel like since we got Sully over here, what are y'all's opinions on that? Do you feel like that's what we're waiting on to make this decision? Like bold prediction, like as the moment Green Bay and LaFleur make a deal to extend, we announce who our head coach is within 2 hours.
So the only reason right now tonight at 9:56 on the 16th, we haven't signed anyone yet is because we haven't complied with the Rooney Rule, which we have an interview scheduled with Kelvin Shepard, who's going to be the second minority head coach that we're coached that we are interviewing for head coach. We cannot hire somebody until we've interviewed 2 minority coaches. We interviewed one already, and our defensive coordinator. Kelvin Shepard can't interview with us until after this weekend because they're still in the playoffs. I also think that there might be a little bit of waiting because I think Sully wants Matt LaFleur if he's available. Depending on what that trade looks like. I mean, because it's going to be a trade. It has to be a trade.
So then it goes to the next question. So what are you willing to trade for that?
No more than a third.
Yep. No more than a third.
Yep. And all of those fans that are coming up, well, Sean Payton got a first. Yeah, Sean Payton is Sean Payton.
He was already proven. Yeah, he's already
we talked about it a little bit earlier, Kat, and it was
I came in at the end of you guys talking about it. So it was like
I compare this trade to the Holmgren trade was it from Seattle or to Seattle? I can't remember. Dirk.
Let's say it again. I'm sorry.
Holmgren.
I was looking at my Ted Ginn jersey. Go ahead.
When Holmgren got traded, I think it was from Seattle to somewhere. They gave up a third. And I think if you look at, and when you compare those head coaches' records at the time of that trade, they're very similar. And I think Matt LaFleur is a hell of a coach. I'd be thrilled to have him on this team. But if they want anything more than a third, see you later.
Yeah.
Keep the disgruntled coach because you're not going to pay him. You're going to lose him next year for nothing. If you don't, here's a third or you get nothing. What do you want? And I doubt Atlanta, because Atlanta would probably be the only one, I would presume. I doubt Atlanta gives them anything more. I mean, it is Atlanta, so you never know. Maybe they give them a first. And if that's the case, see you later. Have fun. We'll take Stefanski or Chris Shula.
Yeah, we need so much. And I think that if it's going to have to be a trade, obviously it's going to be a draft pick. And we're going to, if we give up a third round, I would be okay with that. And I'd be happy to have him. But beyond that, I think it's too much, especially from a team that needs we need almost all of our draft picks to hit in some fashion this year.
I'll ask you guys a question. Do you think you guys trade down?
I trade down.
I do too.
Yeah, it depends on who's there and like if you feel like you can get them later, because we do need to considering the fact that we have so many free agents, like trading down would give us extra picks to be able to fill some holes if we can actually hit with those picks. And I have faith in Sullivan because he has been in one place in one winning culture for more than 2 decades. Like he spent his whole career in the same place, moving up the ranks in this exact position, player personnel, player evaluation, just constantly, like, and Green Bay's done a great job of drafting players and being good for a long time. Like they go from quarterback to quarterback. They go from like wide receiver to wide receiver, running back to running back. Like they have a winning system. So I'm going to put faith in that he's going to give us a good draft. So whatever he chooses to do for year one, I'm going to go out there. We're going to evaluate it with not necessarily a fine-tooth comb, but still a fine-tooth comb at the same time, like a loose fine-tooth comb, and
yeah, I mean, you're talking about Sullivan, who also, we talked about it a little bit. I just found this out tonight. It's a super interesting fact for me. He won, while he was in Green Bay, he won, there's just like amongst the NFL scouts, there's like this massive award of like the best scout in the nation. He's won it twice.
I believe it's called the Frozen Fin Fan Award.
It's called the Frozy.
Yeah.
It comes in the shape of a Ted Ginn jersey mounted on your wall in a shadow box. Congratulations. Don't drop it. Oops.
Too late.
But yeah, no, Sully's going to, I think that is the, as a GM, I'll tell you what, man, I haven't been this stoked probably ever for a GM. I think he's going to do wonders. I think we just, as a fan base, we're 2 decades of mediocrity. Our patience is thin, and I think we need to take a breath as a fan base and understand that this is new horizons. These are uncharted waters for us, and we need to understand that we need to give this guy that's going to be ugly. There's going to be chinks in the armor at first until he smooths everything out, and then we can assess, and then we can grade, and then we can judge. But I know there's going to be a huge contingent of fans middle of the season next year. This team fucking sucks. Fire them all. Let's start over again. And that's just, that's not how that's not how it should work.
Yeah. I'm at the point where I'm looking at this next season and I'm saying, I'm not going to overreact to anything. I'm just going to be for the first year in a long time, even including 2023 and 2024, and 2022, sorry. Those years we had some success, but it had the same feel as the years before. This is the first off season already where I'm like, this feels different.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm going to hold on to some hope for this team.
Admittedly, it might be a little bit of copium, but that's okay.
Maybe.
That's okay. That's not a bad thing, right? I think this is the first season, to your point, Frozen. This is the first season where I'm not going in, blinded by fanhood. I'm going in grounded, as a fellow podcaster. I'm going in with excitement because there's going to be a ton of content. There's going to be so much stuff to break down in season, during games, during this upcoming off season, during the next off season when we finally have some money and a shitload of draft picks in a rookie class in 2027 that's supposed to be bananas full of talent. There's so much to be excited about. It's just we just have to get through 2026 without killing somebody. That's it. If we can just get through 2026 without pitchforks and whatever the fuck it's called, whatever that saying is, I think it'll be fine. I think we'll be fine now.
What's going to excite me about this, right? Because like I canceled my tickets for this year.
Probably smart,
but I do plan on going back. Well, it's just like the cost of them has gone up, and like the product that they're producing is not. It's like I got other things I can do with that money right now, bud. Like,
what do season tickets cost, if you don't mind? Like rough, if you don't mind.
I'm up in the 300s. I'm right around the 50-yard line. I pay $2,400 a year, for two seats.
Boy, that's a lot of money for a mediocre product, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the first couple of years, it wasn't bad. And like when I first got it, it was like right at the beginning of the Flores stage, and they were super cheap. I was getting 4 seats for less than what I was paying for the 2. I ended up having to downgrade by year 3 because they were getting so expensive. And like they were giving like giveaways and stuff. I had gotten the new Madden in 23. Like they gave it with my membership. Like when NFL Plus came out, I got a year subscription to that with my membership. Like, but they stopped doing that stuff. So having a bad year, I'll be able to go. In 2027, I'll be able to get my family tickets again for lower than what we're paying.
Yeah, that'd be great,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Look, I'm a Miami transplant. I'm a Miami transplant living in Connecticut, so I don't get to go to games, which is really sad.
By the way, if somebody wants to, send old boy Dirk over here in Alaska to a Dolphins game, I mean, buy me a plane ticket because they are expensive.
Okay, Frozen.
They make my head hurt.
I can let you log into my YouTube account so you can watch a game. That's about the best I can do, buddy.
So guys, here we are. I know it's not, this isn't an ideal situation, but I think the situation is slowly starting to improve just by the people that we're putting here. It's allowing us to be at least curious about what's going to happen. It's change, right? We need a change. So I want to end this with one little thing here I want to add. This coming season, the Miami Dolphins are eligible to have a uniform change. The NFL limits how many changes you can make to a uniform and what changes you can make every year. So you can't just change your uniforms every year, right? It's not like that.
It's not college.
We are eligible for a complete changeover. I'm asking you both, does Stephen Ross finally get the idea about the classic uniforms and go back?
Does that mean like the logo too?
Everything.
So if we go Shula, we have to go back. We have to go back, bro. If we grab Shula, we have to go back. We have to get like the quad pinstripes with like the white on the outsides. Yes, straight old school logo. Yes. That's what it has to be, man.
Yeah,
I don't think it happens, but nothing would make me happier.
No, I'll tell you what. I want the old jerseys. Actually, I don't want the old jerseys. I want whatever
the 90s and 2000s.
I actually really like the current throwbacks that they have. Like it's a little bit of darker teal, a little bit of a darker orange with the old logo. Like that's my favorite color combo. I honestly don't think so because the very first thing Ross did when he came in was did this huge giant fanfare, redesigned the team logo, redesigned the jerseys. That's like his infant. There's no way he's throwing his infant into the bathwater. So, unfortunately, no. Do I wish they would? Yes. And if you look at the comment from Anthony, who is not speaking on behalf of our podcast, I want that to be known. He thinks that is fucking criminal, Anthony. And if you're going to say shit like that, get onto your own account, not the podcast account, please. Thank you. I don't want to lose subscribers.
I remember now. Anthony's one of the few people that likes the new logo.
I don't understand. And he's such a good guy. He's got good taste. His whole setup for the podcast is beautiful, and then he says shit like this and you're like, come on, bro. Fucking day drinking.
He's doubling down.
No. I'm filing a lawsuit.
Oh my goodness, I'm dying.
Filing a lawsuit.
All right, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. And all you in the comments, thank you for coming in and listening. Make sure you guys throw a like down, comment. If you are not subscribed, please do that. It helps. It's easy. It's free. If you get a little bit of repetitive stress injury from clicking the subscribe button, I apologize. But we have to make sacrifices. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Kat, Josh, thanks, guys. As always, if you guys haven't had a chance, go check out both these guys' channels. 305 Gridiron for Josh. It's a fantastic channel. Lots of content. They're live every week. AFC Eastie Boys, another fantastic channel. Lots of great conversations going on there. Go subscribe to both these guys' channels. You won't regret it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Anything you guys want to add on the way out the door?
Just please like and subscribe, man, to this. This dude knows what he's doing. His channel, his content is outstanding. And Kat, if you ever want to collab with a newer, younger podcast, man, Anthony and I are free.
You got it, man. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to you. I'll hit you guys up.
All right, for sure.
Frozen Fin Fam, hit me up. You still got to get on the Discord, bro, so we can chit chat.
I know. I am so prehistoric with technology. I'll work on it.
Still using floppy disks over there in the left.
No worries, man. Hey, it was fun, guys. Appreciate having me up, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, guys. Thank you for being here, everybody. Remember, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you guys next time. I'm probably going to live stream a football game this weekend. I'm not sure which one, so be on the lookout. I'll pop up somewhere, I'm sure. Until I talk to you guys next time, remember, please try to stay hopeful. I know it's not easy, but fins up, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Fins up.